Gotta find motherfuckers who gonna want to do it.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? He said salute. Hey. Come on. He said salute.
How we doing today, fellas? How we doing, fellow sippers? How you guys feeling this fine Sunday evening?
If y'all don't get why we call it sippers, it's because of our name. Our name, Drew decided on. Go ahead, tell me.
Sittin and sipping, because guess what? If you ain't sipping, you ain't on the podcast, baby. That's all how it works. Today we're gonna be talking about some real stuff going on in the world. It's been going on for a long time.
Too long.
Too long. We're gonna be talking about Jalen Walker and really the black community as a whole.
Let's not disrespect the dead. Let's make sure we can try to say his name right. Jalen. You sound like you were saying Jalen. You don't want it. I'm saying Jalen. Like it's L-A-N. Yeah, you know that's what you don't want to say.
Hey, not at all.
Not at all.
Hey, respects to him and his family and everything they're going through right now. You know, everything we talk about to uplift and to bring, awareness in our community and others.
Yep.
So let's hop right into it. For y'all that don't know, many of y'all do, Jalen Walker was in a routine traffic stop.
Hold on, don't think we should explain who we are, what we do.
Man, you know what? That ain't bad. That ain't bad. Go ahead, let's hop into it then,
G. What I'm saying? Before we get into, because we're finna talk about some real topics like you talked about, but I feel like we should explain who we are. What made us want to do this and why we doing this in the first place.
Kick it off, G.
I'll kick it off. My name is George Talley III. I am a junior here at Siena Heights University, and I play football. I'm a defensive lineman.
My name's Eric Williams. I'm a transfer from Grand Valley State. I'm going into my third year here at Siena Heights. I'm a receiver. Getting into podcasting, man, it's been something I've been wanting to do for years. And you can ask anybody that's close to me. When we talk, that's why I tell them my dream goal, my dream job, man, is to have a podcast and do exactly what we're doing now. We talk about real life situations. We talk about football. We talk about life. And we talk about things that sometimes don't even make sense. Like just have fun, but also speak for our generation and our people, man. That's what I've been wanting to do for 3 years now. And I finally got the great co-hosts, great friends, brothers to do it with. So yeah, that's that.
We speak from our viewpoints. It's not. This isn't fabricated. We do some research here and there, but this is all how we feel and how we see it.
Hey, and I'm going to follow suit. If you can't guess, I also go to Siena Heights University. My name's Andrew McGoy. I'm going to be a fifth-year senior this year. I've had the pleasure of knowing Eric and Tally here for 3 and 4 years now. So, I'm just blessed to be able to share a mic with these guys that have a great head on their shoulders. And let's get stiff cracking, boys.
All right. So, back to it, Drew. Go ahead. You can take it.
Oh, my bad. You got me now? All right, bet.
Go ahead, sir.
All right, so Jalen Walker was in a routine traffic stop about a week ago.
Probably about 2 weeks now.
2 weeks ago?
But, yeah.
In Akron, Ohio. During this time, he did flee the scene, and he got into a high-speed chase with 4 or 5 police cars. Mm-hmm. After this, he was set out on foot and eventually apprehended, and he ended up dead. Now, the details of this are crazy to me, and to all of us.
Yeah.
So, the police and the Akron police are saying they saw and heard gunfires coming off from the car, which put them on high alert.
Were any of the cars, do we know if any of the cars that were hit with bullets, straight bullets?
From a few articles that I've seen and that I read, it did say that they found a gun in his car.
Yes.
But at the time of him being shot at and fired at, there was no gun. He was unarmed.
No.
So he was armed, but he was unarmed in the end when the situation that occurred had occurred. So,
that being said, when they found it, they found the magazine not in the gun, and they haven't come out and said whether or not they found out it was actually fired or not. They don't know how many bullets were in it. They don't know any of that at this point. And with that also being said, in the state of Ohio, you don't need a license to carry as of last month on the 11th.
That is very true. So even if he had one, it's not illegal for him to have one.
No.
There should have been no reason for them to react the way they reacted after they had supposedly heard gunshots.
And afterwards, after he was stopped, they're saying that they attempted to tase him. It doesn't say whether he was hit. It doesn't say whether he was like a crackhead where they hit him and he just wasn't going down. Nothing. He said there was an attempt for him to be tased.
Right. I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Right.
Because growing up, all my football coaches were cops. And I've had multiple deep, long discussions with them about things like this from like 2016, you know what I'm saying, all through the summers I was working with them and whatnot. Let's say the cops were telling the truth. We don't know if the line looks like that line. I would believe they just killed an innocent brother for no reason. But let's say cops are telling the truth.
Well, see, and this is why I would agree with what you say. So, for y'all that don't know, which most of y'all probably do, the events that led to his death, he was fired at a total of at least 90 times. And he was hit 60 of those times. And what really makes this crazy is that they handcuffed him after the fact of him already being shot. He had arrived to the hospital with handcuffs on. So that's kind of why I agree with why you don't believe they are telling the full truth, is because why would you have to fire at somebody 90 times?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. But let's say, like I said, let's say the cops are telling the truth. Let's say he was shooting out the window with their gun. Put yourself in those shoes. That's what they taught me to do. It's like you go in a situation, you don't know what's going on. Say you are, if he really had nothing to hide and say he was maybe just scared, should he have pulled over? Yes, if he had pulled over, he'd probably still be with us today. He'd be in jail, maybe. I don't know what reason they wanted to pull him over, if he had drugs or anything else. Maybe it was just a gun that wasn't his.
Routine traffic stop.
Okay, so let's say blah blah routine traffic stop.
So we'll say let's say he ran a
Red
stop sign. Ran a stop sign. Routine traffic stop.
What everybody would say, if he just pulled over, he'd still be alive. Which is, at this point, you could say it might be true. But then you don't know. If the cops, now like I said, if the cops are telling the truth, say they were getting shot at, if you're a cop and you're chasing somebody you're getting shot at, and when the guy stops, gets out his car, you don't think that he's gonna get out empty-handed. If he was just shooting at the cops, you're gonna think he's gonna get out with his weapon that he was firing at. If, like I said, if he was firing at the cops, and imagine you're just a cop driving by, and they call you on the radio, shots fired, high-speed chase, and you join that pursuit. You're not gonna join that pursuit, and when he gets out, and you get out, I don't think any of us here are not gonna have our weapons drawn. If we're a cop, if we're there, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't justify 90 shots.
No.
It doesn't justify getting hit 60 times.
No.
I don't think there's no reason for every cop there to shoot every bullet in their gun.
And so, like, there was 8 cops present.
Like,
and 8 cops that fired.
Regardless, they're
So
they're in the wrong.
You gotta think about it. What type of gun they have? So if let's say they basically have a basic 9mm, 10 round.
I think they hold Glocks. I think its standard is 12.
Glocks are 12. So
12,
you gotta
standard
think
12,
about
14.
it. 8 times 12 is 96 shots. So you're telling me they emptied.
They're firing an average 10 times.
On average, every cop there emptied a clip.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's where I said I'm playing devil's advocate. Maybe they were telling the truth. Maybe he did have a gun, but excessive 90 shots. But even if it's in the dark, you guys have flashlights. You were able to see him. I seen the video. You can see that obviously he's on the ground. He's on the ground, and officers are still like walking up, shooting. They walk up, stop, and keep shooting. He's on the ground, not responsive, nothing. And well, first off, it just blows my mind that a taser is not the first thing they have. Even if it is a gun, but if he gets out and he's running and it looks like he's going to put his hands up, but he's not doing nothing. It's ridiculous that it's 90 shots. Well, that alone blows my mind. Even if the cops were telling the truth, every one of those cops should be arrested. I think for what I would believe would be manslaughter. In the way it play out in the system, they had to get manslaughter with little to no sentences. As sad as that is, that's just how it is for black people. We get killed for no reason. They get no sentences for it unless it's a major thing that sets us off and we protest for months at a time. That's the only time we've ever had a real sentence for somebody that's killed us, is we had to protest for months at a time.
Sometimes that don't happen. That don't work.
I'm saying.
Even then, sometimes people still get off.
I'm saying.
That's so. It's like, you know, you can't really.
It's ridiculous.
You can't really say that it's just like at the end of the day, it's excessive use of force, and at the end of the day, it shows that they aren't trained enough to be able to get. Because honestly, it should take 1 to 2 shots, maybe 3. If you're just a bad shot, it should be 3.
So here's the thing.
But you gotta have the proper training to be able to hit somebody in a certain spot.
Here's the thing. You ready? You ready, G?
Go ahead. Let me hear.
So I have a quote.
Okay.
From the New York Times.
Okay.
It's from a precinct speaking on the matter. The decision to deploy lethal force as well as the number of shots fired is consistent with the use of force protocols and officers' training. That's the problem. It's not more training, it's better training. Like they're being trained.
As a cop,
this is what they're trained to do.
So you're telling me, as a cop, they're trained to empty a clip no matter what?
Apparently. That's the thing. Like, we don't need to have more. We don't need more training. There needs to be better training. There needs to be different protocols in place for this. If this is what we're supposed to be looking for as citizens, then there's a problem. You know, like that at base level, that is a problem.
That's a big problem,
right? Now, we've talked about Jalen and we've talked about his situation.
I don't want to cut you off, but just think about this. Does this, like a situation like this, make y'all want to call the cops if something happens?
Not once.
Or does it make you like, you know what I'm saying, with all the like the rights amendments, and they want to take ARs away? Okay, I'm cool with that. But does that not make y'all want to have your own pistol for safety? Your own
100%, of course.
Your own shotguns for your houses, whatever you need. It's like
at 21.
Why would you want to call the police? Being black, all this here. Like, if y'all don't know us and can't tell about how we talk and what we say, we are black males. You know what I'm saying? Situations like this and seeing this over and over again. If something was to happen, why would we want to call the cops? When it's a lot of times we call the cops and we the ones getting aimed at, we the ones getting arrested. Why won't we just have our own gun and our own protection and solve problems that way? Exactly. But either way it goes, it's like we in the wrong.
So let me ask you guys this. You know, I assume all of us, we've gotten pulled over.
Couple times.
After knowing, you know,
recently,
after seeing things like this and hearing about stories like this, how do y'all react when y'all get pulled over and y'all see them red and blue lights?
It's crazy. And
because honestly,
I
know, as you guys can tell, we've been sipping a little bit. So
hey, look, we've been sitting. We gotta be sipping.
We've been sitting and we've been sitting. So you know.
So look, here's the thing.
So go ahead first.
I'm gonna clue some people in because this is a conversation like you have with your parents. It is.
Yeah. So I've had this conversation with my mom multiple times.
And it's like a coming of age thing. For a lot of black men, especially in their communities. So like you get around 13, your parents are like, look, this is how you need to react, how you need to be talking to these people, how you need to be quote unquote respectful. It's almost a yes massa type thing, man. It's crazy. It is. It's crazy. You have to look straight forward the whole time. Make sure both hands are on the wheel. And I get the safety part of it. I do. Like they don't know what's in your hands. Fine. But there's a difference between me white-knuckling my steering wheel, looking straight forward until I go, yes, sir, no, sir, may I reach for this, sir? When I've been in the car with buddies of mine who aren't black, and they're talking crazy, like reckless, like it's, why'd you pull me over? I'm in the passenger seat, like, man, just leave it alone, bro. Like,
shut up. Just shut up.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's a difference when you in the situation of being a black male and when it's not. Like you see the difference of how they react to you, and even when they come up.
Yes.
Like I just got pulled over last month. I saw the lights pop on. I seen him pull over to the right side of the church. Right. I'm like, okay. So there's a car behind me. That car pulled over and he went around the car to come get me. And I said, the first thing that popped into my head was, oh shit. And it was probably 2 weeks after. It was probably the week that I heard about this. And the first thing I thought of, 10 and 2, turned the car off, looked straight. And I looked out the corner of my eye and I still saw him walking up with his hand clutching on his waist.
Like, that's crazy to me. Like, you.
And it's like as soon as I see the lights come on, the first thing I see is my heart starts racing. And it's kind of like you can't be a black male and not think that. Especially with me being, the size I am, one wrong tone, I don't know if that could be my last day or not. Cause I am 6'4", 280 pounds. And it's
I'm not.
so that could be a little intimidating.
Yeah.
You could tell when I'm in my car. So, if I had that wrong tone and it can get bad really fast.
They're asking you to step out the car.
Look, they're asking me to step out the car, and it's like
I had that. Literally, this is crazy. Is we all have these experiences, and these are just black men giving y'all experience. I'm gonna tell y'all mine. It was on Mother's Day this year. If y'all don't know me, I got a wife. We got married at 19 years old. We have a beautiful daughter. She just turned 3. You know what I'm saying? It was Mother's Day. I went to go get my car washed and go get her ice cream to end the day. We just were in Toledo. We were doing shopping sprees and all sorts of stuff, right? A cop pulls me over, and not only pulled me over because I did nothing wrong. I seen him. My heart raced. I tensed up.
Before you continue, DIB, DWB, that's a real thing.
Yeah, it is.
Driving while black, that's a real thing.
It is. It doesn't make it better that I have what you would call a stereotypical black drug dealer car. I have a all black Challenger,
black rims,
22s,
that boy's hot.
tinted windows. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And the windows were down. It was a nice day. I had the windows down, so you didn't even know the windows were tinted. He followed me into a gas station. He followed me from the gas station into another parking lot, sat in there while I was on the phone with my wife, followed me around, came back, and when I left, I turned left out of the parking lot. I got to the stoplight. He pulls out the parking lot, which is maybe about 300 yards behind me, and goes like literally 0 to 60 to get behind me and make sure no other car did. I knew as soon as I turned left to go get my wife ice cream, I was getting pulled over. I turned left into the nearest turn lane, following all the rules, and as soon as I turned left, he turns left. I hit my turn signal, get into the right lane, and pull over immediately because I know I was gonna get pulled over. I knew I was gonna get pulled over from seeing him from a mile away before the interaction started. And he pulled me over because he thought I was in a stolen vehicle. He said my license plate wasn't in my name, nothing rung up. No matter what state he looked up, nothing was in my name, which I believe is impossible because I went to the BMV, I watched him put everything in my name. They handed me the paperwork. The paperwork's in my name. I've never heard this. I've never heard this or anything like that. And he tells me, he's like, yeah, these cars are getting stolen a lot, so I advise you lock it up. And he said, yeah, and just a heads up, you're probably going to get pulled over a lot. This is a white cop, like mid-30s, state trooper. I had tip money from Subway in my glove box. When I opened my glove box to give him my paperwork, he thought I was a drug dealer. He said, where'd you get all those ones from? Why you got all this cash? Why are you asking this? I tell him I was going to get ice cream for my wife. He said, why are you sure that's what you're going to do? Accusing and what's that word? Assuming.
Stereotyping.
Yeah, assuming I'm lying about what I'm doing. And that's on Mother's Day. Like, I'm going to get my wife ice cream. This is something that us as black men go through day in and day out. Sometimes multiple times a month for the same person. It's ridiculous. Now put in this situation and put all these situations with a white counterpart. Jalen Walker, the mass shooters. There was just 2 or 3 mass shooters in this past week, and not one of them got shot, got tased, nothing. They got arrested calmly and took away with their life.
Did you hear about?
You can guess. They are white. It's crazy.
And let's put this also into perspective, right?
Y'all can give it up. That's a good segue.
That was good.
Let's go. Good segue.
and every time that one of these white mass shooters have been in predicaments with cops, you want to know how many shots have been fired?
None.
0.
Zip. Zilch.
0.
Nada.
But Jalen Walker, because of a routine traffic stop, was shot at 90 times while he was unarmed.
I one up you. I'll one up you. There's a man by the name of Benjamin Murray. He was in a Mexican standoff with Hartford County Police. This is in Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore.
He shot 200 rounds. 200 rounds. Screw 90. He doubled what 8 police officers shot off as a singular person. And he didn't get fired at once. Now, these cops fear for their lives when they're around us, right? Like, they're like, I don't know what you're going to do. Well, you know what he's doing. You're seeing what he's doing. You ain't do a dang thing. Like, it's
not one shot.
Nothing about it, man.
He was taken into custody safely. He had priors and was suspected of a crime already when they came on scene. That's the discrepancy. And it's crazy.
That is crazy. I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna one up you per se, but let me give you this instance, right? There was a shooting back in Buffalo last month.
Yeah.
About last month.
It wasn't
about
last
a month,
like a week ago.
Month and a half ago.
Like
Oh no, this is a different one.
There
There was one in Highland Park for the parade, but there was a mass shooting back in Buffalo about a month ago. Mm-hmm. In the grocery store was in a black predominant neighborhood.
Yeah, he traveled 2 hours.
He traveled 2 hours from, I think it was Boston, the day before to do reconnaissance of this grocery store. He planned the shooting for over a year after they caught him planning a shooting of his own graduation. Nothing happened, right? Okay. So, police had arrived. The gunman was still armed. Got arrested. Not one shot fired. He went into the grocery store with a full jumpsuit, like plated armored jumpsuit.
Like SWAT.
And fired off 200 rounds. Killed 10 people. I think there was 10 victims. And even more were injured.
Yep.
And mind you, all of this was live streamed
On Twitch.
All of this was live streamed on Twitch. If you were to look up on Twitch Buffalo mass shooting, or you were to look up on Google the Buffalo mass shooting, you can probably find the video. In that video, there is a white cashier. You know what he says to that white cashier? Sorry, man, you're all good. And proceeded to go through the back of the store and kill 4 more people that were hiding in the back of the store because the front was the only way to get out.
It's crazy, man. And
not a single shot was fired.
It's just
arrested peacefully.
It's a hard knock life, baby. It's nuts. Like it's hard to think about feeling safe. It's hard for a black man to feel safe in his own community when he's traveling in other communities where it doesn't look like he quite belongs there. I grew up in a very rich, affluent white community.
Right.
And it was nuts. And I had coaches that were police officers. I had buddies' dads who were police officers. And like they were telling me like I need you to be careful. So like it's not that these police officers don't know what's going on. It's not an ignorance.
It's too noticeable.
It's not an ignorance.
It's too noticeable.
Like if they had no clue and they're like, it's not me. I don't. I don't know what you're going through. No, you know exactly what's going on. Like it, and that holding other people accountable would seem like their number one job. They're enforcers of the law. They're enforcers of the law for everyday citizens, officials, other police officers. So the fact that a lot of these places are, quote unquote, defending their own in the wrong is crazy to me. Like, hold on. For us, it sounds normal, right? You're with your wife, Eric, right?
Yeah,
and she does something crazy.
Yeah.
You don't correct her in public, but you correct her behind closed doors.
I mean, you gonna be honest, it depends on what she did, man. It's like, if it's something wild, I'm like,
If it's bullshit,
chill.
you gonna say something right
Like,
there.
chill. Like, if it's bad, I'm like, chill. But no, yes, for the most,
Right.
to go with your part, yes, you are 100% right.
Right. But it's not happening. There's no correction being made. These people are leaving their current employers, going to different cities, different states, and doing the same thing. And so there's no change. There's no possibility of things getting corrected or done. There's almost no hope. And that sounds so morbid and sad that it breaks my heart. It does. Like, imagine...
We're gonna see the same. We're gonna see this. We're probably gonna see about 2 more stories the next 5 months. I'll guarantee it.
You're capping it at 2?
I'm gonna say we'll know about 2.
Well, I mean, yeah.
We'll probably know about 2, but there's dude, it happens all the time.
Like, I'm having kids right now. I'm having a kid right now.
Right.
And I'm so happy it's a girl. Because for that reason. It doesn't make it a whole lot better, but it makes it a little better.
Oh yeah.
Because they're taught, like, use of force is all subjective. So to a female cop, something might seem like she needs to do a little more than a male cop if you're 6'4" and 280 pounds.
And also to prove that she has dominance over you, that you have to abide by what she says. She gonna do some more stuff. She gonna be extra.
I get so scared with female cops. Cause I'm like, you're gonna try and do something crazy. Like, you got.
You gonna do some off the wall shit.
You got something to prove. That, like,
of course.
You're gonna handle me. It's like, hey, look.
Especially in because police officers. That's a man's world per se.
Yeah.
Women are automatically gonna feel that they have to
one up everything.
They have to gain that respect of being a female working in a man's world.
And that's that sucks.
That's
and
exactly what
in
its
own
own
right. That sucks.
And at the end of the day, honestly, like as we see more and more things like this pop up, I feel like you're gonna see more and more women pop up doing it.
I got a question for y'all. This is off topic. Like, this ain't on the topic list or nothing.
All right.
But when you said you was like you having a kid, like, I didn't even think about this, but a lot of people in the black community push black on black. You know what I'm saying? And
right. I know where this question's leading. I like it.
I'm not even a product of black on black. You see what I'm saying? My mom is white. My dad is black. I'm not.
Mine as well.
You know what I'm saying?
As well as mine.
So, like, do y'all think that people that are, I don't want to say people that
are you trying to say?
Let me finish. People that are like knowing of the world. Cause I know, like, a lot of my black friends, like a lot of my friends. I'm not even trying to say black friends. A lot of my friends are like still in the hood where we grew up. They don't think about the things we think about. A lot of them are just trying to survive to the next day. They not trying to get murdered. They not, what I'm saying? They trying to make enough to feed their kid or feed themselves. So they don't got enough time and freedom to think about things like this. But the ones that do you think that's why everybody's having an inter multiracial relationships, like a white and a black, interracial relationships? So the fact that they do have a kid is not going to be as dark. And like, yeah, but in some cases, it's like being light skinned is better than being fully black. But at the end of the day, it's like
black is black.
Cops see black is black.
Yes.
Right. But I have a friend that's who looks like me skin color wise, but dresses like Carlton off of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. And
he's told me, like, cops see him and treat him like a white dude. We look the same besides the fact I have tattoos on. 9 times out of 10, I got a long sleeve on, so you don't even know I got the tattoos on. But I get treated as, oh, he is black. Like, I don't see the white, I only see the black. But do y'all think there's people that will breed their kids to be a lighter complexion so they don't have to deal with the stuff that black people deal with now?
Honestly, I kind of feel that they do. But also, you gotta think about this when you speaking in terms of your friend and you. How does your voice sound, or how does his voice sound too? Because that factors into it too. You know what I'm saying? If he dresses like Carlton but had a voice like, like you, do you think that they would?
But a lot of times, that's what I'm saying. It's not even.
It's
not even before they even get to the voice, they see you.
Correct.
So before you even talk, they already got your whole judgment played out. And I could just
judge you.
I could just be in a Nike Tech suit, just a Nike jumpsuit,
right?
Sweatpants and a sweatshirt, right? Why as you treat me like I got 4 guns, 8 pounds in the backseat?
So, on your question,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think people think about it that way. I think it's a little more psychological than that, and that's to lead more. So, like,
there's white girls that, like,
that love.
praise
Yes.
black men. Like, I
Yes.
can't wait to have a black baby. So that's why
I always thought that stuff was kind of weird.
it is.
I can't
for
lie
sure.
to you. But like,
It definitely
so
is.
like, if you like black dudes, fine, that's one thing. Like whatever.
Fantasize on that's
Like,
another.
Like you like what you
But
like.
that's the thing, though. Fantasizing on anything is kind of
You like what you like.
You know,
but you
it's
sitting
kind
there
of
like, I want my baby to have be all light skinned with curly hair, and that's the only thing you think about. It's not like you're thinking about, oh, I like black men. It's, oh, I want a light skinned baby. What?
right.
That is outlandish. Like that's
Yeah,
wild.
that just sounds weird. That sounds weird just coming out of your mouth. Like
Right?
it's kind of. But that's the thing, though. That's how they think. That's how some women think, and it's
Yes.
like, does that like factor into what type of woman you choose?
I think it should. But like, hold on. I got to backtrack. I do, because I had a thought. And the train is running. It is.
Right.
I'm telling you, it is. All right, so all of us have white moms, right?
Correct.
Okay. I think psychologically, studies show like you mess with women who like kind of remind you of your mom. It's not like you want to mess with your mom,
Right.
but like,
But
there's,
yeah,
there's
psychologically,
You
there's
mess with what you know.
something, right?
in a
So
sense.
if you're comfortable with this
Yeah.
and this makes sense to you, that's what you're gonna do. So I think that eventually, like, white folks and black folks will be kind of like breeded out eventually, because there'll be so much intermingling and interracial
They already
stuff.
say like in 2040, they're already the majority of the people are gonna be light skinned or something like that. They say everybody's gonna look like Curry. Steph.
Yeah.
They're gonna say because like
Yeah.
everybody's having babies. They had that prediction like I seen it on Facebook when I was in middle school. Like by
Yeah.
the year 2040, everybody's gonna be light skinned.
And I thought
And
it
that's
was
what they
crazy
say. Like
at first.
like whites,
honestly,
whites right
honestly, I
now.
believe that's true.
Whites right now fear not every white should end.
No.
But there's
No.
like okay. Though, if you want to get political,
honestly,
the
you can
far-
say that. You can say that. You can
yeah.
say what you were about to say.
The far
because you know,
right, the
because
far
story
right,
that-
he say the whites gonna be the minority, and that's why they scared. And they had people like
Yeah.
Supreme, you know, the Nazis and all that other stuff.
Yes.
White supremacy. They say they fear that they're becoming the minority, which is why it's the thing.
wanna know
I
something
think
crazy?
somebody said that's why the dude did the Buffalo shooting.
That's exactly why he did the shooting.
Because
He
there's
wanted
too many black people.
He wanted to eliminate
Black
the
people.
white dwindling race. He wanted to eliminate the black people.
Dwindling.
That's exactly what he
you know
said.
But the crazy thing
That's
about it is,
that was exactly
that-
his motive behind why
that's
he
fu-
did what he did.
His,
You know
his
what's
motive
crazy?
is nuts, but like, it's a 60% thing. Like 60% of our country is white.
But even if the whites aren't the majority, they're still not the minority.
Right.
Right.
Like there's 13.6 black people on this earth. You feel me? In the U.S. I mean, not the earth. In the U.S. Like 13, they're just not gonna be the majority. They 60% right now. They might go down to 59. They might go down to 58, and somebody else might be over them just a little bit. They might go down to 42. Somebody gonna be over them by 1%, and they gonna think they're the minority. And
Right.
the reason they say it's my minority because it sounds more aggressive. It sounds like
We're dwindling. We're dying.
like
we're
how
being killed off.
And then once to say like as bad as it sounds, it's like the way we use it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We say minority, like how it's used now. I can't even explain, but you know how I'm saying like blacks like oh we're the minority, and it sounds terrible that we're the minority.
And it sounds like we're just.
But we
all
have
the time.
we have made that depiction of minority, so now the whites trying to use it. But it's different because they all
also-
still got
but also-
40% of everybody.
But also, you gotta think about this too, though. Can they really be the minority when, what is it?
I feel like you can't be the minority if you have all the power.
You have all the
Regardless.
power. I mean, how many billionaires do you know that are black? Like, let's
I
be
think
Jay-Z,
there's
LeBron,
Jay-Z, LeBron,
MJ.
Tiger.
Tiger.
What is it? What is you could probably,
George,
guess
Jay-Z.
you could probably count 10.
But
There's probably two handfuls.
I mean, you know, there's
I ain't gonna lie, it's
probably,
wild.
there's
I
probably
know
a
more.
little.
I
There's,
know more black billionaires than I do white. I just named all of them. All
No,
I know
you
is
don't.
Bill
No, you
Gates.
don't. Bill
All I know is
Gates,
Bill Gates,
Elon
Elon,
Musk.
and Bezos. I only know 3 white people.
Bezos, Buffett,
That's
Rock.
that's all fine. I mean,
But yeah,
that's
it is
fine
more.
and well,
That's because I
but-
care more about the black community.
Exactly
in
right.
that sense.
But if you look it up right now,
We don't got money, so
You'll
we get
probably
money,
get.
everybody
You'll
know.
probably get
Yeah, a lot.
10 max. That's just doing. I mean, honestly, like
Billionaires.
when
in
you
the
have
minority,
all the
right?
money, when you have all the money, it doesn't matter. You are in the majority. You are the power.
Billionaires
you
are in the
control
minority.
the world.
They control things.
You literally control the world. Like imagine right now if Amazon were to just stop selling. What would happen?
You know what I'm saying?
Jeff Bezos would be fine.
Hell yeah.
How
he
you
would.
think the world will be?
Roughed up?
Oh,
Hold on.
right,
Millions of people lose jobs.
right.
fucked up.
And you want to know something? You want to know something?
I mean,
You want to know something?
Hey, they
You want to know
there
something?
be slaving.
You want to know
anyway.
something? You want to know
That's what
something? You want to know something too? This is what's even crazier, right? If it were if Jeff Bezos were to stop Amazon and millions of people were to lose their job, how many millions of them people are black and how many of them are white? You answer me that.
I think that, hold on. At that point, we're talking about something very different.
Y'all keep
We're talking
talking.
about
Y'all keep
something-
talking. I'm gonna go get some.
All right,
keep
bet.
talking. Keep the conversation.
Eric's going to go grab something to sip on real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, grab me some honey whiskey.
But look, we're talking about something that holds hands with each other. Like, they're cousins, but they ain't siblings. So
Okay.
at that point, it's a classism thing.
Right.
We know there's poor white folk.
Well, of course.
We
I'm
are-
not saying
hell,
that.
Right. So at that point, we're talking about a classism issue. We know for a fact that the black community makes up a lot of the lower class in those working jobs, in those
Correct.
factory jobs, and
Correct.
those jobs that make America go round, but don't get no love, right?
Right.
So that's where I'd stop you on that one. We're a part of it because we make up a lot of it, but we're not alone on it.
No.
That's where I
That's
kind
fair.
of disagree with you.
That's
on that.
fair. That's fair. It's a good point. But, it still ties back into the majority and the minority portion of it.
Yes. Well, I mean,
We're the majority of that class that's working those jobs. We would be the majority that gets hurt by it.
yes.
That's kind of the point that I was making too.
Yes.
I get what you're saying. Is that really delves more into class and things like that, and that's a whole nother topic for another day.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, when you think of those billionaire company owners, most of them are white.
Yes.
And if you were to take that company out of the world, out of production, let's just say Jeff Bezos stops Amazon.
He's still a billionaire.
He's still a billionaire. And how much do you think that would affect the black community as a whole
Tom.
compared to the white community?
He would. And
That's what I'm talking about.
And since we want to talk
That's
about
why you can't at the end of the day, it sucks to say it, but you will never be in the majority without money and without power.
No.
And the majority of people who have the money and the power are white people.
Yeah. And we want to talk about how things affect our communities as black men.
Right.
And when we already talked about the percentages of peoples living in this country.
Right.
We already claimed 60% of the U.S. population is white. Eric already said about 13% of the U.S. population is black.
Rough numbers.
Rough numbers. These
Rough
are
numbers.
like within 2 or 3%. This is about there.
We'll say probably about 5.
Because it's ever changing.
About 5.
It's ever changing.
Right, of course. We can do some research right now if we really want.
Black America is lesser so than Latino America. There's 18% Latino Americans in this country.
And do we?
Which is
if we want to get into it,
Yes,
that's documented.
that's documented. So I mean, there's more. That makes it sound fine. There's probably more.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
6% is Asian and 4% is other. Right? Do you know who makes up these prison populations?
African American.
So it's disproportionate. It's very disproportionate.
Can't find it.
So per 100,000 people in a prison, in the prison system, 2,200 are black, 1,200 are white, about 1,000 Hispanics, 300 white, and then other, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just men.
Want some more?
Not a lot. Well, that's what you sip on right there. That's just men. Then you go to women. Women are in prison less, so these numbers are a little different.
Right.
It's 88 black per 100,000. 88 black. 113 other, 65 Hispanic, and 49 white. Tell me how it makes sense that if a country dominated by more than 50%, it's not even just like it's half. It is 60% and then a little some. Doesn't dominate a prison population. It's not like, oh, well, white people don't commit crimes. Really? That's not how that works. Our communities are being over-policed. Our communities are poor, so people are having to do things that they probably shouldn't be doing. It's crazy. And then half of these are nonviolent offenses. Like the amount of people. Excuse me. Ooh, ooh, babe. That's. I'm good. I'm a sip on this one.
I'm about to say this is who the ones. You?
Yeah, we. I'm a sip on this one, babe. But it's just insane to me because you don't see a whole lot of the black population committing these heinous, outlandish, violent crimes. The ones you hear about are psyched out white kids being crazy.
If we want to be honest, how many black mass shooters, black school shooters, how many have there been?
I think like one or two. Not even school
If
shooters.
you really want to be
talking about mass, I thought you
shooters?
said mass shootings. I think it was like one or two.
Mass shootings, school shootings. How many have been black?
You sure don't hear about them.
There was a couple. There was the one where he was just shooting all the cops. I think they called like some of the club shootings, like where some of the black people. Like, that's two. I think there was one. There was the movie theater. Was a black dude.
What movie theater?
This was like some years ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Down in Florida?
I don't even want to say what state because I don't know. I can look it up, but I don't know. But I think there's like 3 or 4 that I know of.
Yes.
Out of the 90 that were white.
It's safe to say we can probably say 10.
Right.
Max.
But
that's max.
It's being dominated. These violent crimes are being dominated by the majority. But the majority isn't being shown in these prison populations.
And let me ask you this. I'll one up you with that question, right? Out of that majority, that 90 that's been white males, right? Considerable planning has came into it. It's been thought out. They found sketches of where it's planned. How many of them have pleaded guilty by reason of insanity?
A ton.
No, I can't answer.
You can't answer.
I couldn't give you a number,
but I can't give you a number either. But I will bet you right now it's more than 60%.
60?
I'll bet you right now.
I'll
you can look it up. I would bet you right now. Over under 58.5%.
That's what you gonna put the money line on it too, baby? You gonna put the money line on it? That's crazy. Look, I'll go 50.
And this is with it planned out. I'm talking in like months in advance, planned out. Found notebooks detailing what is gonna happen, and everything that they said is gonna happen in the time span that they said is gonna happen. It has happened.
It's not.
How many have pleaded guilty by reason of insanity, or not guilty by reason of insanity? How
many are just pleading guilty? Like, yeah, I'm a bad person. Not many.
No,
not many.
It's always insanity.
Like,
why is it always insanity with them? If you want to say it like that, I know it's bad to say it, but it's the truth.
But he's crazy.
It's the truth.
But he's not that crazy. He knows what he's doing.
He knows exactly if you planning something out meticulous and you find notebooks full of it, trust me, you not insane.
Crazy.
You might be crazy. There might have been some issues with you,
but you're not.
But you're smart.
So far out.
But you're smart enough to know exactly what you're doing, how many people you want to kill, how much ammo you're bringing,
you're
the guns you're getting.
You're intelligent enough to do that. You're intelligent enough to do that.
But
you're not intelligent enough to take your sentence.
Please. But hold on. That train moved. That train took a different track. The fact that this affects our community the way it does, one, just in the person, okay? A person is gone from our lives. Whether he was taken from us from police violence, or whether he's in prison, or whatever. That is one less brother, son, father, uncle,
nephew,
mentor, nephew, cousin on the street. That's going to affect somebody.
Yep.
Somebody's daddy. That is somebody's daddy gone.
And I want to say this, y'all.
Or son.
People that tap in, people that listen, that I don't want to make it seem like we are one of some of those black people that we hate white people. We hate this and that because we feel the same.
God no.
We don't want to say we feel the same for innocent white males, women that die by police for no reason. Because it's the same way.
It is.
Even, you know what I'm saying, even if you did something wrong with the police and you run and you get killed for no reason.
You don't deserve to die.
Like, there's a lot of white people that die by the police that we just don't hear about. And there's facts that back that up that it could be more than black people.
It's true.
But if it is, last time I seen it was like it was more than black people, but like 2% or something, very small number. But you take up, but white people take up more than triple the population of us. So this is where we're coming from. We're not saying that, talking like this, like, you know what I'm saying, we hate white people, y'all the reason black people don't got nothing, you know what I'm saying, this and that.
No.
But we're just speaking on the disproportionate numbers of blacks versus whites, and we are getting killed at the same rate, or if not more so than whites. And that's what we're speaking of. So like
number of population.
Yeah. We're not speaking as like we hate white people. You know what I'm saying? We got some of our best friends are white. Like we said, our moms was white. We are part white, regardless how it goes. We got white in us. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But we feel like this is something that needs to be said from people our age, people of our generation, and
you know what
like
we go through. You know when we see police officers pull behind our vehicles. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, how we feel in that aspect, you know?
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? We are black, and it sounds like we're saying a lot of the same facts, same statistics that older people are saying, that everybody else saying, but this is just us. This is your peers. We are your peers, your generation, your age, talking and feeling this way, and hopefully you can reach somebody that's like, you know what, they talking sense through everything they saying, even if it's repetitive at some points, because a lot of everything we said so far has been repetitive. Mm-hmm. I know about 3 or 4 podcasts that say the same thing we done said already. Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying, it's just those podcasts reach a greater number of people. Those podcasts probably don't reach nobody that's gonna listen to us right now. So we just saying and getting how we feel. Y'all agree with this, you don't, you know what I'm saying, you can contact us, all sorts of stuff. And we, you know what I'm saying, we ain't got no problem talking to y'all, arguing with y'all. I argue with anybody about y'all points.
You know, we debated with it, you know.
And I'm going to say this right now. If you are somebody that has a good feeling and really wants to talk about something we talk about, I'll talk to it with the guys, but we could possibly have you come on and speak your part, even if it's 3 days later after the podcast, we would do that. But I don't want y'all to think we are pro-black, only black. No. That's not it. No. We are pro-human. We are pro-life. We are pro-life. Everybody.
We're pro-life to people living.
Yeah,
living
like
people.
We ain't getting into that.
You gotta make sure you know in the times of what's going on. You gotta make sure you word yourself the best, right? So let's say we're pro-life for people living.
Like everybody has the right, man.
I'm sipping on this thing, man. I lost my little words.
You know, it happens. It's okay. Let's just you know.
I don't know how if they want to switch it up. I feel like we've been talking for 45 minutes about death and what's wrong with blacks and what's wrong with this, man. I want to switch it personally. I want to switch it to a lighter tip. I want to talk about the other half of our lives, and not even the other half, the other
major
1/8 of our life. You know what I'm saying? And another major part. You know what I'm saying? Because we got kids, we got families, we got this and that. You know what I'm saying? Football is a huge part of our life, but it's
we'll label it about a quarter.
Yeah, it's a huge part of our life, but at the end of the day, it's so minute to everything that really matters when it comes to life.
Yes,
you know because football is so minute.
At the end of the day, football ends.
Yeah, I'm saying it's so minute to what really matters in life, and that's going at this point change the feeling of this podcast right now. Because right now there's been a lot of death, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration about what's going on with the black community. So I want to switch it over to football, and what we're going to talk about is spring ball. We just came out of a spring ball a couple of months ago, like a month ago, 2 months ago.
About 2 months ago.
Right now we're in the summer session, getting right, lifting and all that. But we're going to talk about spring ball. And I'm going to ask the question for them to answer. I'll join in with my own little thoughts. But what was y'all mindset with spring ball this year? You say you're going into your what, third?
This will be my senior year.
Your senior year spring ball. And
but
your last
actually,
let me
rephrase that. Let me bring that back. This was my first ever spring ball at this school in 3 years.
That's true. It's only
because of COVID. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hell, that was my
in
first
the spring
one.
season.
That was my first one, and I'm a year older. I was hurt my first one. We had COVID that spring season, and then this one. It's nuts.
This was a lot of our very first spring ball. So this is going to be a lot of,
I had one at Grand Valley, but I pulled my hamstring the first day of pads. As soon as I came back, I fractured my hand. So this was like legit my first full spring ball, first full experience for me as well.
So you're getting 3, real, first hand topics on, how we thought, how we went into it, what we want to see from ourselves coming out of this spring ball, because none of us have one. So Drew, how about you go first?
So yeah, we talking about the mindset and everything. So for us, it was kind of different. We pulled in a new DC.
Right.
We're shuffling pieces around, trying to make things work in a new scheme.
For people that don't know, DC is defensive coordinator.
That is true. You know what? The jargon might have to.
Yeah,
I might have to let some people in.
We'll have to full,
Yeah.
fully say some words until y'all,
Thank you,
kind of understand, what's going on.
So yeah, we got a new defensive coordinator. Shout out Coach Shaw, big dog, and a few new coaches.
Yep.
We're trying to fit some pieces in some things we lost. So we lost 2 safeties,
Yep.
a corner, and that's about it for us. So we got real lucky. We got lucky. All conference guy and Drew Loria.
Yep.
So we go from a very conservative scheme into something that's not so conservative.
Right.
Coach Shaw's a balls to the wall kind of guy. He wants it fast, intense, and I'm going to hit guys
something
in
that
the
we
mouth.
something that we go through is a lot of if you get to the age you're 21 and stuff, a lot of people bet, and we got an older defense, so we like to bet, so we gonna throw some gambles, and that's kind of his philosophy is we gonna gamble.
We're in a smart game.
We gonna gamble, but we gonna gamble smart.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Everything can't be a throw all your chips on the table and let's see what happens.
I don't go to Vegas and throw a mill on the table for no reason.
I'm about to say, but
I'm working my way through.
But you gonna go to Vegas, you gonna throw 10, 15, you start hitting something,
I might throw a little something.
you might throw a little, 50 ball.
So yeah, that changed our whole mindset. We were in an attack mode type thing. And it was different learning a new scheme at this time in our career because we were in a scheme for 4 years, 3 years. So things were mastered. There were things that were non-negotiables within our defense that we felt like didn't have to be talked about. You know what I'm saying? So that
With
changed.
that being said, how was your mindset going into this spring ball? What did you plan to see from yourself going in?
I wanted to see myself play fast, and I wanted to see myself master a defense, which sounds crazy, but those are the type of expectations I felt like. It's like, okay, I'm one of the oldest guys in the room. If I don't know everything that's going on, how can I expect this freshman who didn't even play last year really to have any clue of what's going on? That's just weird. Like that's bass backwards. That's what I like to call that one.
I like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I like it. A little bit of professionalism.
Hey,
I like
look,
it.
hey, talk
Yes,
to me
sir.
now.
Yes, sir.
So I mean, that was my whole mindset about it, was to really master the little things about this defense and just play fast. That's the one thing I don't think I do amazingly all the time. It's too much thinking.
Well, and that's we had that little talking point, out on the field. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. You get to the point where you're so technical, you're not playing fast. You're trying to play technical.
Just go.
Sometimes in football's a game. Sometimes you just gotta go. You gotta be technical. You gotta know what you're doing.
But
it's about making a play.
hey, let those things hang between your legs.
And that's where that smart gamble comes. There are times to play technical, play conservative, and there's those times where it's like, you know what? We gonna see what happens.
We're gonna tell Vin and Joe, pin your ears back and go.
We gonna see what happens.
Yes.
There's some times where you see one thing out the corner of your eye and you like, you know what? Let's give it a shot.
Bet, go.
But there's one thing that comes with that. You got to pick and choose your battles wisely, because at the end of the day, you better make the play.
Hey, you ain't lying. I can't lie to you. You ain't lying. But on to the next point.
Whoa, let me.
So let's ask.
Yeah, my mindset.
Let's hear
my
Eric's
mindset.
mindset.
My mindset about this. My mindset this spring was very selfish. For y'all to know, I'm a 2-time all-conference, but I was probably in my mind, the worst receiver possibly in the league. Do my stats say that? No, my stats say I'm pretty good. My teammates say I'm pretty good. Even with some of you guys that could have watched the game that's here, some of you guys that have never seen us or never seen us in person that listen to this, no, I'm not bad. But in my mind, I treat myself as worse than I am so I can get better in my mind. So this spring was very selfish. I wanted to perfect my craft more than I ever have in my life. You know, I'm 6'1", about 220, 215 to 220. I'm a pretty fast receiver. I have good size, good hands, but my routes, I was one of those receivers that I'm not going to do the best moves at the line of scrimmage. I'm not going to do the best moves at the top of the route, but I'm going to be where I need to be, and I'm going to catch the ball. So even if the DB's on my back, I'm going to catch it. If the DB's not on my back, I'm going to catch it and go 15, 20 yards, and it's going to take 6+ people to tackle me. And film doesn't lie. I catch the ball behind the line of scrimmage, I'll make plays and get 6, 7 yards and break 4 tackles. But for me, that wasn't enough. I needed to perfect my craft in my releases, how I come off the line of scrimmage, my routes mid route, how I approach my body language. And that's what this spring was for me. It was very selfish. A very selfish mindset. I wanted to perfect the craft that I've taught myself, even through this years in college. I've never had a real receiver coach teach me how to be a receiver. I've never had that experience. So I dedicated myself to doing it. And you can ask Drew, who's probably seen it. I got locked up a lot by, no offense to the dudes on our team, never want to embarrass anybody, but we have a depth chart. I got locked up by the bottom dude of the depth chart, while the very next play, I'm scoring on the first dude on the depth chart. But it was all about trying new things and making myself better while trying. And that's what my mindset was. Yes, my mindset was to obviously help the young guys that were there, but a lot of the times it was just me versus me. And that's something I've lived by. Hopefully I'm going to get it tatted on me so I can remember that forever. That one tat on me that says day by day. That's for my mental health and football and life. Take everything day by day. The last day can't be yesterday can't be worse than the day you're gonna have today. That's how I take it. And then me versus me, I have it on my custom cleats that I got in 2020. Because at the end of the day, that's all it is. Nobody can stop you but yourself, and that's how I treated my spring ball and my mindset towards everything. So far, even still to right now, to this day in the summer workouts, it's very selfish in a sense until fall camp starts, and I gotta teach everybody all over again and help the young ones out and help them learn. I'll help all the freshmen. But that was my mindset. It was very selfish like.
I respect it.
It's a great way to go about it.
You know, at the end of the day, you know, spring ball, it is for you to be selfish. It is for you to want to make yourself better, because that depth chart comes from spring ball. Mm-hmm. That depth chart doesn't come first week of camp. Mm-hmm. That depth chart comes from spring ball. Once that first week of camp comes, you don't like where you at, you better move up. Mm-hmm. Or if you that number one guy, you better make sure you still perform like that number one guy, or your spot will get taken. Yep. So, you know, when you talk about a selfish attitude, it's not a bad thing, because you want to get better. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, you know, you see yourself as the worst receiver in our league. You know, the stats don't lie, but that's what you saw yourself as, and that's what you have worked to perfect yourself. Like, that's not a bad thing, because that shows you want to get better. Yeah. You know, if you all right with being, I'm number one guy, I'm an all conference guy, I'm cool. That's not the mindset to have, because more than likely you won't get better. 100%. So, you know, you having that selfish mindset, that's a good thing, man. That's not a bad thing at all.
I love it. And pivoting into the next one, you know, I think it really ties in how you stay focused with that. How do you come back day after day after day, in kind of a grueling time in spring ball where it's full contact. I mean, we're thumping. We don't have games to worry about.
All the time.
We don't have be like, okay, we need to keep guys healthy or else we're not going to be able to field the team. No, this is, hey, look, I'm sorry, you're banged up, but we got to see what we got.
Yeah, and honestly, that's another point too. That's another point to it. You got to be able to stay focused during spring ball to where it's like you're not putting yourself in situations to get banged up, because that day that you banged up,
that's not what did
it. That third guy on the depth chart suddenly moved himself up because he had a stellar day, and then it's like, how you gonna react? How you gonna stay focused and get yourself back to the performance level that you was at before you got banged up? That's another thing to it is eating healthy, going to sleep on time. That's a part of staying focused, because shoot, that one day off that you have because you got banged up, and it's football, injuries happen. But if it could have been avoided from you doing certain things, hey,
then you lost out, and you can't blame nobody but yourself.
Yeah, that that factors into it. Like I said, injuries happen in football. It's a contact sport. Bad things gonna happen. But if it's something that's avoidable, like you staying up till 3:00 next day, you pull something. Who's like, if we just ran and banged and hit and you sore, but you not getting the proper recovery for your body, who is that helping? You know what I'm saying?
It ain't helping you. It's not helping your team. It's not helping anything. And I think honestly, Eric already hit it on the head in his first little talk. Just day at a time. Just go. Hey, look. You're heard. What is it? Yesterday's history. Tomorrow's a mystery. But today's a gift, and that's why they call it the present.
Look, this. Oh, they didn't give me.
They did.
You got talk. Come on, project.
I'll project now. Don't do that.
Come on, man.
It's nuts though. Like how fragile and how limited your day is, and like nobody thinks about it. Really, like it could be gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Freshmen don't think about that with football. It's like, man, I got 4 or 5 years.
I'm good,
bro. Nah, bro. Look, I'm
telling you, that's
look.
You
could be done tomorrow.
You could be done tomorrow.
You could be done today.
Off an injury.
Something crazy. You got hit by a bus.
Or it just fly.
Like,
damn.
God forbid, you get hit by a bus.
But it can happen.
And you're not playing football. You're not. Better be happy if you're walking.
Yeah.
You're not out of a feeding tube. Like, just.
But it's things like that when you touch along with it with football.
Yes.
One day you fine, next day your ankle gone, your knee's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how quick it happens. So you gotta take every day one at a time. You can't look ahead. You can't be thinking ahead. You can't be thinking about the day prior. You wake up that day, it's about that day. It's not about what happened yesterday. It's not about what happened 2 days ago. You shouldn't be thinking about, oh, I'm going to do this next practice, next, take it a day at a time, a play at a time. You know what I'm saying? It's play by play, step by step. That's how I see it. I'm a step by step type of person.
Big shout out to Nick Stallworth, big bro. We had a little saying once when I was a freshman and he was a sophomore. Hey, there goes one down. We get off the field, we get a stop. There's one. Oh, hey boy, there's two. Take it a little bit at a time. We don't need to shut you out all at once. We don't need to get a pick all at once. Look, hang around. Things happen. Things happen. That's life. Hang around. Make things happen. All in all, after that, since Eric already hit it on the head and all, what was your guys' thoughts on install, especially as an offense with Eric? Because I know how George really thinks about it because we're around each other all the time.
Right.
What were your guys' thoughts on as an offense on how install was supposed to go?
Considering the fact that, there are some things that are different this year compared to years prior. Because you've been here for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm not even going to lie. I can't really, I don't know, we did get a new OC, change the plays up, but for the most part for this spring, we just went over the same things we already knew.
Right.
And they went over little changes to it, and there was things that we learned and changed about it that nobody would be able to understand except for the people that play.
So before you continue, I want to add on to that. So do you think they did that to get more competition for you guys to see who's going to play that role, or do you think they were kind of grooming the ones for that role that they're playing, or do you think it was a little bit of both?
Well,
because it's not like y'all learned much new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we were in a sticky situation because we didn't have a lot of receivers. So for the first 2 weeks, I was the only ex-receiver. If y'all don't know, there's supposed to be 12, 15 receivers on the depth chart, and we had maybe 4 that could play, 5 that could play for the first 2 or 3 weeks of spring ball. So I can't answer that question because all there were ones. I was the only receiver that started that came back this year. So I can't really say was it for the ones or was it for comp for the young guys. If I had to guess, I'd say it was comp for the young guys because we really didn't change nothing, and it was only really new guys playing. But then as far as install, I wasn't there on the install days due to work. I worked every day. We didn't have practice, so I rarely to never made the installs. But I always got briefed before practice. I would meet with the coach by myself 30 to 45 minutes before practice and talk about it. But I never really had an install. I know they met every day and they watched film on the days they didn't have practice. But I would like to think that the install went good. But then again, I wasn't there. I had to work. I had to do things. But yeah, I wasn't there. So I hope it went well. From what I was told, it went well. The receivers, they learned a lot. They played more confidently. But I don't know if that was due to changing of coaching situations in our position in our offense, or was it the meetings? I couldn't be there to tell you.
So I understand that, and I get that completely because I'd be coming from work too. I'd make it in a little late, and I'd come in and I'd catch what I caught in the meeting, and then I'd stay late with Coach Shaw, and we'd chop it up. So at that point, we caught up, we chopped it up, we did everything we had to do there. But the way we like to do it as a defense is kind of grouped together. Right. So we would group together some lateral movements on our D line that we'll do. We'll put 3 lateral movements together. Then we'll put maybe 2 coverages together. Then we'll put 1 or 2 blitzes together and things like that. That way it's all comprehensible. So a lot of
that way we all know what's going on as a defense, and we're not just this is doing this and then we're mixing with this, they're doing that, and then we come together at practice, and then it's okay, well, what are we all doing together?
Right.
We kind of did it to where we all saw what each other were doing, so that we all knew what to look for and what to watch for and how to play what we were doing.
Exactly, and things add on to each other. So once we made this call this day or for the next few days, it's not like we just leave it.
Right.
We can make that call later, and it's recall. It's like when you're studying anything. The more you do it, the more you recite it, the more you think about it, the more it just comes together from the back of your mind as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Without even thinking.
With the difference of, in Eric's situation, not being many receivers, we had some pretty decent numbers defensively.
Right.
On all levels, How do you think that they approached it? Do you think it was more for competition for the young guys or to groom the ones? Or both? Because I would say this. During spring ball, during spring practices, I would say it was to kind of see, where that depth chart fell. Because once the spring game came, the ones really only had 2 drives.
Right.
2 drives.
So I think that it's
So do you think it was more comp for all or comp for the young guys, grooming the young guys, grooming the ones, or both?
Personally, I think it's both. And I think it's all position based too. So like Eric said with the receivers, they had ones, and that was it. So at that point, you're just competing to see, okay, where am I putting guys? Where can I slide guys and make things right?
Who's gonna be that slot?
Exactly.
Right.
But in our defensive backfield, we were pretty young. We graduated some guys. Things happen.
Correct.
But they're pretty there's some depth there.
Right.
So you can be like, all right, I'm gonna rep X, Y, A, and B.
Because when you go four deep in all four positions, it's it gives you some freedom to rep different levels with different levels. You know
Exactly. So I mean,
as a coach, from what they perceive is what
Yes.
level to what level. Right?
exactly. So at that point, that's calm. That's young guy calm. Young meaning like not a ton of playing experience,
Correct.
But like when you come down the next level as a backer, we're pretty old at backer. We're pretty old at the D line and that whole front seven, So like me and Superman Cole Merlin coming back, that's you have a certified All-American there. Then
he's not really like there's not a competition there, but do you think there's a competition for once he's gone?
Sort of.
Since he has that one.
I think you try and groom other guys to like just fill the shoes and wear the cape eventually, but it's a little different. You're not thinking that now.
No.
Like right now at least. Like you in the back of your mind as a coach, I think that's a thought. It's like,
Right.
okay,
It's
who do
like-
I like here? Who do I want to rep here? Get a little comfortable because it's spring.
Right.
You
You
But
gotta think about it. You only got 3-4 months, and then it's
we're ready to go. We're putting on jumpsuits and getting on the bus.
right.
So I mean, yeah, there's that in my opinion, but it's all different in case to case,
Yeah.
like everywhere, not even just here. I mean, if you have a really old secondary out at Northwest Pennsylvania Texas State University, that's why you messing with it. You're trying to get guys comfortable to step in when they need to, but then making sure guys are fixing little technical things.
So I guess it really all just depends on the situation at hand.
Exactly.
Due to our situation,
This is what we need to do.
due to our situation, like Drew said, in the back end, we're young. That's more competition based. But once you get to that front seven, it's really more of grooming,
Yes.
and seeing how because there's been some pieces that have been plugged in certain spots where it's like how will they play with this person? And I feel like it's kind of just getting that group used to playing with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Like it's not so much as grooming a young guy because there's a lot of time left in that front seven, but in that back end it's not so much experience on that in playing to where you can't say you're grooming anybody to take it in the spot. You're seeing that competition between guys to see who's gonna play.
Exactly.
So I guess it really all just depends situation to situation.
Yeah, I think that's all it comes down to, really.
Right.
And I mean, at that point, let's pivot into a different point. With those young guys that you have, do you work them into meetings 3, 4, 5 times a week? Do you work them into group meetings, position meetings, full defense? I mean, how do you really say when on those things?
Well, see, from our point, we had three team, and then we break into positions. Some positions went longer than others. Some positions went shorter than others. I guess that is another time where it just all depends on the situation at hand.
Mm-hmm.
There's been times, as a D lineman, we have a lot of, older guys, but, we're in a meeting, we'll be in a meeting, going over, plays and going over film. We'll be out, 30 to 45 minutes, but, we'll see DBs who've been in a meeting room since for 2 hours.
I mean, Ozzy loves him a meeting.
Ozzy loves the meetings. And it's the same thing offensively. I've seen the offense being there from 4 to 7:30.
Crazy.
And the offense is really old. They've got a whole bunch of experience over there. So I really, it just depends on what the coach wants. You know what I'm saying?
So
I feel like everybody should meet 3-4 times a week.
Right.
Now,
would you set a time limit for those times?
There is no time limit on greatness.
Right. I respect
And that's what we talking about. We talking about wanting to be great. You feel me? Day in and day out, you want to be great, blah, blah, blah. And we complain when we got a long meeting. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of them. I'm like, why are we having the same meeting, talking about the same thing, to reteach the same thing for an hour and a half all over again? We just did it yesterday. And to me, I'm like, it makes no sense. But I gotta realize, like, not everybody knows the playbook on the offensive side as I do. So then that's why, okay, we need those meetings. We gotta have them for everybody. But you look at any team that's successful, man. You look at Alabama. Do you think they only meet 3 times a week?
Hell no.
Do you think they only meet 3 times a week for 30 minutes?
That's what I'm saying. Like they meeting like corporate. Like they come suit tie, sit down, and don't talk. You feel me? They really meet, and it's like we complain we got a 30-minute meeting, bro.
It's a little different.
We complain we got a 45-minute meeting, and
to the one point where
it's
like,
not different though.
No. The one thing I would make different about it is like camp meetings. That'd be different because they can only practice one time a day.
Yeah.
So they have the time, the extra time for what? We have a 2-hour practice. They have 14 hours outside of your sleep and eating and whatever to meet with you.
But
We have 4 hours maximum because you're saying you want us to get 8 hours of sleep. Perfect. You want us to practice twice a day. Fine. Perfectly fine. So that's 4 hours plus that's what? 12 hours right there.
Then you gotta factor in lifting
3 times a day. So that's 15 hours.
Gotta factor in lifting.
We have a lift like 3 to 4 times a week in camp. There's another hour. That's 16 hours. So what? We have 8 hours left to get in these meetings. Perfectly fine. Like, and there's no time limit on greatness. And when it gets done, it gets done. That's when you're done.
Yeah. So you're talking. That makes a lot. It makes sense for like you're saying fall.
Right.
But we're talking about specifically spring, and specifically in spring,
It's a good point.
ain't no, what I'm saying, you meet. Like a lot of these kids, man, a lot of the kids on the team, you know what I'm saying, they don't got jobs, they don't got kids, they don't got wives, they don't got life. Their life is, they own campus. Their life is, you wake up, you go to 1 class, 2 classes, maybe 3 if you have a bad schedule, 3 classes one day, and you don't do nothing but play the game or go BS in your teammate's room. Y'all, we don't study film. We don't go through the playbook with each other. We got free time, man. They do what they do. They kids. They 18 years old, 19 years old. They gonna want to have fun.
It's true.
And even us, like I know for a fact that there's times y'all didn't meet with everybody and watch film. Like when you got free time, you not watching film. You playing Madden. You doing this. You doing that. When you could be meeting with your teammate. Not saying you don't do it every time, but sometimes you're like, hey man, I really don't get it today. Let's go through. Yeah, that's. Everybody has those exceptions, but majority of the time they not meeting with each other. So if you're not meeting with each other and trying to get right, you ain't got no other choice but to make it mandatory through team and position meetings. Like, especially during spring, I feel like
But
you should meet 3-4 times. You should meet after if we practice Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you have a meeting on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You should have practice on Saturday mornings and meet right after practice Saturday mornings. And that means should be another hour and a half. Right what do we got to do with our life? Besides the few kids on our team like me, Jalen, and maybe some other have kids. You know what I'm saying? So, or you have kids, or you really the kids that live off campus. You got to struggle to pay your rent, so you have to go to work. That's 5, 7 kids out of a team of 100. We got 100 kids out of the 5 to 7.
Like 15%.
Not even, bro.
15 might be a lot.
10%.
Not even. Like 5 to 7 kids out of like 100 that actually maybe won't be able to go to the meeting because they have real things.
We had 92 kids.
We have real things to do.
That's a thick spring ball roster.
So we'll give you about 8 to 12%.
You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got nothing else to do.
You might as well. Like
Now kids ain't gonna shoot. They go out. They gonna
you might as well
hang out like. Yeah, man, yes. That's how I feel. Should athletes meet? That's what. Hey, I'm gonna let everybody know. What we looking at right now is a TV with all our notes, all our topics, and the question is: should athletes meet 3 times a week during spring? The answer is yes. We should really meet 4 to 5. You should meet 4 times. 1 time after Saturday practice, and then maybe a 5th time on Sunday because you ain't got nothing else to do. Yes, we should. That's my answer to the question. That's because, and this is me being me and how I am. I'm very competitive with everything. We talking about we want to be great as a Siena Heights football team, and that's what we talking about. We talking from Siena Heights. We an NAIA program, and we want to be one of the greatest teams to play in one of the hardest conferences. But we complain about, not us here, but we have players complain about 3 times a week meetings. Sometimes it's too long, it's too this, it's too that. But we at 6-4 record. really a 5-5
Really
record.
5-5.
You want to break it down, but one team got disqualified, so a 6-4 record on paper. But take out
Look,
take
nah,
out that.
we
Come on,
gonna take out that. Ain't no excuse. We went 5-5.
a 5-5 record, but we could play in about 3 meetings. And I'm gonna go on this rant again because I'm just gonna keep going. And I feel like we supposed to, me, us three right here, G, Drew, and me, we supposed to speak for the generation. Not for the generation, because we have a lot of people that speak for our generation, but we just want to give a voice for our generation, people that feel like us in any topic we talk about. But specifically, right now, we are talking about football and our specific team and our specific life. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous to me that we have multiple kids, man, that claim they shouldn't have been here. They shouldn't be NAIA. They should be D1, Power 5. You know what I'm saying? High, D2. They should be going to the league. Oh, I'm finna transfer. I'm finna go to the MAC. I'm finna go do something else. Like big D1 schools, but they be the same kids complaining they got lift in the morning. Or they mad they got a 6 o'clock lift because they got class at 7, but they don't have class at 11, so why can't they lift at 11? You know what I'm saying? Like, these the same kids that's complaining about means, but get to the practice and can't do nothing right. You can't line up right on the offense. You don't know the plays, the simple plays we put in day one. You can't get the same plays down. We've been practicing for 6 months now. You know what I'm saying? But y'all want to be great. You know what I'm saying? I feel like me, I'm talking this as a whole, and this is everybody in life. I'm going to take it out of football. There's people every day like, I want to be a millionaire, but don't do nothing but be on their phone. Oh, I want to be successful, but I don't do nothing but be on my phone. Oh, I play the game. Oh, I want to be successful, but I want to have all this money. I want to save it for a new car, but I'm going to ask somebody to take my shift. You know why? Just because I don't want to work today. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this is a real problem. This is a real problem with our generation, man, is that some of us are born to hustle in life, not just on the football and sports. They're born to hustle in real life, and then others are born to say they want to be something just to say it. They don't ever want to show up. They don't want to do nothing. They just want to.
Know what that is?
They just want to look the part. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
called entitlement.
And what Drake say? What Drake say? He said something in the song. This is a couple while ago. He said, "I know a girl that went on a trip and still posted pictures like 6 months later, just to show everybody." You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I did this or oh, I did that, but you're not putting in no work to do nothing.
Hey,
it's ridiculous.
Hold on, hey, shout out Coach Oz. I got a real statement for you. I got a real statement. It's a question that comes up.
And I'm sorry if that was real loud. I got real close to the mic. I got to yelling. I apologize if y'all listening.
That's
but
real
like I said,
right
Coach,
there, man.
Coach,
Real spill.
Coach,
That's
Coach
real
Oz,
right there, man.
Coach
Come on
Oz
now.
got this statement.
He got this statement. It's kind of a question. He says,
I think I know what question.
"You know
it
the
is.
question.
Oh, I know
you
the
don't
question.
heard it. All right, look.
Oh, me and him have had to talk.
Huh?
Me and him have had to talk.
Come on,
man.
what's the question?
So,
What's the question?
Are there just some guys who are dogs in life, or some people who are dogs in life that just get it out the mud and grind and spit and claw and get everything they want because of that? Or is everyone a dog? You just got to bring a little bit of something out of them.
No.
No. Thank you.
No, man, a lot of these kids ain't dogs,
No.
man. A lot of these niggas, man, a
So
lot of
the
these
question-
dudes,
so-
man.
So the question.
Hey, a lot of these dudes, pussy cats. I'm gonna put it that way. You feel me? A lot of these dudes, pussy cats, man. Put it that way.
So the question is, to make it easier, to really think about, is everyone a dog, and it takes a different way to bring it out?
What can we say?
So
Everybody.
Is everybody a
is
dog, but you
everybody
gotta
a
bring it out?
dog, and there's different ways to bring it out, or do you think some people are dogs and some people aren't?
I'm gonna say it this way: in the manliest man way to do it, and this is just through genetics and through life, through history and time. Sometimes there are alphas, and sometimes there are betas. And you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with a beta. But then I don't know what you call the ones that's a seeds, but that's what a lot of these dudes are, man. A lot of these women are, man. They not the alphas, they not the betas. They the C's, whatever you call the C's. No, I think Omegas is like the strong ones. No, I don't know what you.
The
is.
alphas are them
Yeah,
ones.
but I think
the
Omegas
Omegas
still.
are the Omegas are the second.
So then betas is betas.
So
Look, I don't even know.
The betas are
See, they got too technical with me. I was just keeping it A, B, and C because I don't really know. But I feel like there's a lot of people that's alphas, man, that's gonna get it out regardless. They got that extra dog in them. I feel like there's betas that they gonna be as good as the person is in front of them. Mm-hmm. They gonna follow their leader and they gonna do everything right by their people. And them people is great too. Role players as far as football, do what they need to do. In basketball, do what they need to do. What's the dude that played with the Bulls? I'm not a real basketball guy. I played with Jordan. They ain't do nothing but rebound.
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. They ain't do nothing but rebound.
He did his dang job.
Not saying he a beta, You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I feel like that's what Baiters do. They play their role to the best of their ability. They have a little dog in them and what suits them. The alpha is somebody that got a dog in him. No matter what it is, he gonna be that dog. Whatever it is, she gonna be that dog.
He gonna be a dog
and
on the court, and he gonna be a dog in the corporate world.
And then there's them C's that just, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know, everybody that played high school sports, there's always just one or two that join the team just to say part of the team and talk to girls, talk to dudes, you know what I'm saying? Or just to be a part of the team just for that look. And
just to say I play football.
You know what I'm saying? It's just to say that. And I know dudes that I done talked to that's, man, 30 years old. So back in my day, I played blah, 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 and then I go talk to somebody else, and we like, man, that dude ain't never touched a field day in his life. And I feel like that's what a lot of these people are in real life, real world aspects, man. A lot of them just show up to be something, especially with social media, man. Social media got everybody wanting to party. Not even party, just got everybody wanting to fit in or be the best. What they say, keeping up with, that's my grandfather used to say, keeping up with the Joneses. Mm-hmm. Man, how you keeping up with the Joneses? You know what I'm saying? Like, what everybody's taking photos in their fake jets, fake private jets. You can pay to take a photo with a fake private jet, and you post it like you really flying out somewhere, man. Like that's what we act like people our age is doing, bro.
Take a photo in the seat of the Rari and.
You know what I'm saying?
Take a photo in the seat of the Rari, you in the showcase. Like, come on now.
That's what I'm saying.
What we doing?
Like, dude who got it come out unlocking his car and opening the door while you sitting on the hood. You know what I'm saying? That's really what we doing now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, man, I don't know. No, to answer your question. I don't believe everybody got dogs in them.
No.
Some people do. Some people got that grit. Some people got that hustle. But a lot of these people is pussy cats.
Bro, just, hey.
But do you think there are people who got the dog in them and sometimes you just got to get it out of them?
No. Yes, there are people that are like that.
Right.
But
they not dog. You don't count them as dogs for real.
No.
You a beta.
That's exactly. That's
and whatever the C's is, that's whatever the C's. I gotta give it.
No, that's
whatever
a B.
the C's is. No, I'm saying whatever the C's is the people underneath. That's the people I'm talking about. And we got a lot of C's pretending they age. We got a lot of
B's pretending they age too.
Most of the B's know they're B's.
Yeah,
like most of the B's play their role. They
I
just
agree
go
with
in,
you.
they're like,
a lot of the B's, a lot of the betas know they betas. A lot of the alphas know they alphas. But it's the ones underneath them that try to play their role like, you know what I'm saying, like they got it, like they do this, that. And that's in football, man. That's in life, man. That's in school, man. That's in any part of life, man. You talk to some of these people that might be your best friends, man. Everything they tell you, and you might be like, you know what? You look to the right, man. You like, dude is always lying. He lying about everything. He pulling me into lies. He doing this and that. And think why he doing that? Because he wants to be in the world. In the terms I'm gonna keep using, he wants to be an alpha. Not an alpha since he's the strongest and the fastest, but maybe he wants to seem the coolest. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wants to seem like he's the most popular kid at school. Maybe he wants to say he got the most money. Maybe he wants to seem
he's
like
that guy. He wants
he's
to be that
just
guy.
Like you said, just that guy.
But
man, but be real with yourselves.
They want to be that guy deep down, knowing they will never be that guy.
Honestly, that's not the problem. It's not like it's a genetic thing or they're born, oh, he's not that guy. No. Like a lot of these dudes who are alphas, they weren't born alphas.
No.
They were like, dude, this has to get done. Like
I disagree.
Dudes who say this is getting done.
So you think alphas are born alphas and there ain't no.
Yes.
And you think C people are born C people?
I feel like there's like levels to it. Like you can learn to be an alpha if you ain't got no other choice. But you can't teach somebody to be Jordan. You can't teach somebody to have that mentality. You can't teach somebody to have that mentality of Kobe.
I don't think it's a tough thing.
You can't teach somebody to have that mentality of Deion Sanders, prime time. You can't teach that. That's something like you literally are born with that. Like what did he say? He said, "Mom said you can't be the baddest because somebody else gonna be better than you." What did he say? He said, "Low, Mom, look. Somebody has to be the baddest MFer. You can't learn that, bro. Like, and I'm gonna say this way. That's something that I'm gonna put it for the air. LeBron ain't like that, bro. LeBron don't got the mindset of a Kobe. He doesn't have a mindset of LeBron. But LeBron is, in my opinion, the best player to ever touch the court of basketball. But he does not have the mindset of Kobe and Jordan had.
I think he has.
Because you gotta think about that. Like they would have done any and everything, right, to win. LeBron would too, but at the same time, things Kobe would do, the way Kobe would act, Who do you know is waking up at 3 in the morning, and by the time you even wake up at 8 o'clock, he's already had 3 workouts? LeBron's not doing that. LeBron's never did that. Kobe was doing that. Jordan was doing that.
Do you know that?
From what they said, from what I've heard and speculation, obviously we really don't know nothing. And 9 times out of 10, even they say this might not be real. But if I'm gonna say yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. Like that's the type of person Kobe was. You can't teach that. I can't teach you to wake up at 3, work out at 4, shower, eat breakfast. 6 o'clock you go work out again. You get on at 8 o'clock, you eat a snack, you work out at 9. You sleep, you play with your kids or play with your family from 9 to 11, maybe 9 to 12, and then at 12:30 you go work out again, and then from 12:30 to 2 o'clock you working out. You get done, you go home, you shower, you eat dinner. After you eat dinner, you go work out one more time. Boom! After you work out that one time, you eat one last snack. You go to bed and you do it all over again. That's 4 or 5 workouts. When 9 times out of 10, some people might work out twice a day. They might wake up at 9 o'clock, work out at 11, get done, eat their food, go work out again at 5, get done with that, and think their day is over with. Kobe was waking up at 3, 4, getting 3 workouts before you even open your eyes. You telling me you can't teach that? That's something that some people literally are born with. They are born with that mentality.
I think born with it is the.
You can't teach that.
I'm not saying a teach thing, at least not an outside teacher. Life's a teacher, right? So we go through life and we're sitting there like,
Okay, this happened. I can't let this happen. It's not like some dude's like, man, you gotta be this. This is how you. Nah, it's like through people's own life experience, they're like, all right, this is how I'm living, so this is how I gotta get it. And then it's a trial and error period. I don't think Kobe was 8 playing basketball, waking up at 3, right? I don't think Kobe was a rookie waking up at 3 and working out. I think Kobe went through whatever time he did in the league.
Didn't Kobe scored like 60 on kids as 8 years old?
I saw that.
Come on,
right?
And I'm had an argument with you.
But he doesn't about like this.
I'm gonna have that argument. I'm gonna have that argument with you because he didn't run his life as a rookie. I believe as a rookie he was waking up that early.
But think
I
about
don't know.
Think about
like,
it like
that's
this.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact.
But at 8 years old, you think your mom gonna let you wake up at 3 a.m. to work out? No, you 8 years old, man. Enjoy your life as a kid. That's what I'm telling my daughter, regardless. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying.
But I can feel like as soon as he
this.
could control his own life, I think he was doing that. Personally.
Jordan was cut in high school. Jordan didn't make the team.
And
But that was life.
That's life. That's the life
right there.
That did it.
That's life telling him. He was like,
Time out. How many people you know got cut for something and never went back? How many people you know that got cut,
right,
came back,
right,
and still ain't no Jordan?
Right. What we're saying,
you are born with that.
What I'm telling you,
you are born with that.
That life experience made Michael Jordan.
How you know he ain't grow up?
Okay, you saying that?
How you know? Hold on.
Yeah, I feel
no,
yes.
How you know he ain't grow up thinking I'm the best at basketball? 9th grade came, he gets cut. He was like,
apparently he's not the best at basketball.
I'm not the best at basketball.
Right.
And that's when he was like, I'm gonna become the best at basketball. How you know that's not what happened? You don't know that. You know he got cut in high school.
But what I'm saying is, what I do know is that you are born with that mentality. You know
I think life taught Jordan that mentality.
Like I know, you know what I'm saying. I feel like there's been plenty of people that's been in that same exact situation, but didn't have that mentality to be Jordan.
Because you know how I know.
Because if there was, we would have more Jordans, bro.
I feel like that's
like at the end of the day, we would have more Jordans. At the end of the day, we would have more Kobe's.
But think about it like
chicken and an egg conversation.
Literally.
Honestly, I'm gonna agree to disagree with you because
don't
disagree.
Kobe wasn't
waking up at 3, dude. Huh? Kobe wasn't waking up at 3 at 8 years old.
He can't control his life. You're talking about a kid that's 8 years old, bro. At 8 years old,
but that's what I'm saying. You saying he born with that?
Were you able to choose your own
Jordan
outfit?
was taught that. Yes, I was. I was able to choose.
First day of school, I wasn't. First day of school, I had to wear this.
But I was. But that's what I'm saying. That's different, right? Jordan had life teaching. Maybe Kobe was born like that, where at some point he was going, all right, I'm waking up at 3:00.
I feel you. Life. I feel like,
But I think
life experiences.
More often than not,
I think
more often
life,
than not, life is what teaches you how you want to be.
I don't think life. This is me personally. I don't think.
I think
life,
actually, I say it like this. I say it's more 50-50.
Let me land. That's
Go
what
ahead,
Blue Capone said. Let me land. I don't think life experiences teach you anything in this sense. Life experience can teach you a lot about life, obviously, but in this sense, we're talking about mentality. I don't think life experiences can teach you that. I think life experiences can bring it out of you.
So that brings out the dog conversation.
It can bring.
But then that brings back up the dog
could
conversation.
bring that mentality out of you.
But
that mentality
brings back up the dog conversation.
Listen, that mentality you're already born with. You're already born with that. You go through this troubling experience, and you realize it comes out of you that, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
But then there's other times where you go through a life experience and you fold. The pressure folds you.
I feel like
It brings it out of you. The life experiences bring the best and the worst out of you. For everybody. A life experience for you could alter your life tomorrow. And you could change the way you do any and everything. And it could either be you have that Kobe, Jordan, that Deion-esque switch flip, or you could just be, or you could just that they both had the same mindset, and the fact that you can't teach that, bro. You can't teach that mindset.
Honestly, I agree with you that
you can't teach that mindset.
I feel Kobe
life brings it out of you.
But life taught Jordan. That's the difference.
Okay,
bro.
I really agree to disagree, because I don't think life could teach you. I think life could open your eyes and let you access something spiritual that you can't be taught.
I think that
because I think that mindset
conversation that we've had.
I think that mindset.
Your answer
I think that mindset and everything is like spiritual. You can have a life experience, bring something out of you, but you can't just be taught that. Like I feel you can't be taught to be an alpha. Back to that experience, because you have to just be. Because if you get taught to be an alpha, there's always a way to break you. If I teach you to be a leader, there's always a way you can be broken.
I feel like teaching ain't the
if you're born an alpha, or you're born with that mentality, that is something that's you, that's in you. That can't be broken. You can't be taught that. No one taught you that. Did anybody teach you to be the type of athlete you are today? Did anybody teach you to go to the weight room by yourself when nobody's there?
Yes.
For you?
It wasn't a taught thing.
Did somebody teach you that?
Directly, no. It wasn't like someone sat down and said, "Hey,
did someone sit you guys down and say, hey, this is what you need to do if you want to be a successful college football player. You need to go to the weight room 3, 4, 5 times a week. You need to eat this diet. You need to work out like this, and you have to do these things. But then you do have weight training teachers that could give you the blueprint. But they gave the blueprint to 92 kids, and I bet you only 15 of them have done that blueprint. Right? So then again, do you guys as yourself, have you always been able to go the extra mile without being asked, without being taught, because you want to be better? And if y'all telling me no, you're lying, because I know y'all. George, you wake up at 6 every day before you go to work to go lift. You work landscaping. You are doing a physical job outside. You outside in the heat. And you are waking up every day at 6 to go work out. You go in, you bench press, you heavy back squat. You can't teach that, bro. That is a mindset that you are born with. You are born to be that dog, bro.
Honestly, you know what?
Do all that whole conversation.
I can't even disagree with you, because there's been people on our team who said, I'm gonna come work out with you.
And how many people showed up?
It's so crazy.
0. That's what I'm saying.
So crazy.
I can't dispute.
That's not something that can be taught.
I can't dispute.
You are born that. You are born a grinder. You are born a husband. Just like this instance, in the same way, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say I'm a beta in something I hate to be a beta in. I'm gonna say I'm a C. I'm one of the C words. Lamest terms, I'm a pussycat. I can't wake up and do what Gary Vee do. You know who Gary Vee is?
He's a big Jets fan. He's an influencer.
A self entrepreneur who every day he had straight F's. Teachers telling him he's gonna fail. He's probably one of the best businessmen
Oh,
to
I
be
know
a
who that
businessman.
is, yeah.
Not even the best businessman. He's not like a Bezos. He's not in the stock market, but he says, if you listen to him, he says he sees things. He's a very motivational type character, and he says if you want to be rich, go to the garage sale. 5 garage sales a day. You can make $150,000 just by going to garage sales and reselling on eBay. But you gotta have that hustle. You gotta have that grind. You gotta be able to do this. Be able to do that. That's the type of person he is. When it comes to that, I'm a C. Do I want to be a millionaire? Do I want to have hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Depends on what you want to do with your life.
Yeah, I'm saying. Let me learn. In my life, I want to be successful. I want to have a lot of money. That's a path to have a lot of money. Do I tell myself, yeah, I want to do that? Yeah. Do I tell myself, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do it? Yeah. You know how many times I've done it? 0. Being honest with myself. And I tell myself, like, dang, I didn't do it today. I really want to. But I didn't do it. Because at the end of the day, that's not me. I'm not born with that hustle to go out door to door and try to sell something.
But that's in that way, though.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it
So
can't.
that's it. That's what I'm saying. Now, I know people that have been taught to go sell door to door, taught to go do those things, but Gary Vee, in this instance, is one of those dudes that, in that field, he's an alpha. But then there's a lot of people that, in all fields, ain't nothing. I can say in football, I'm an alpha when it comes to being a football player. That's about it. I don't have enough experiences in life to be an alpha in real life circumstances. Entrepreneurship, working in a factory, working in this and that, just doing whatever else. I'm an alpha in football alone. But I wasn't taught how to be an alpha in football. Gary Vee wasn't taught how to be an alpha in what he does. You can't teach that. Born that. You are born that. You are born that. And with all that being said, man, and being born an alpha and whatnot, man, that concludes our very first Sittin' and Sippin' podcast with your co-host and host, however that goes, George Talley, Andrew McGoy, and Eric Williams. Hope to see you again next drop. Peace.
Yerk.